Popular YouTuber and podcaster Ranveer Allahbadia continues to come under fire for his obscene remarks on India's Got Latent show. From internet users and celebrities to politicians, people from all quarters have stepped into the row as the case continues to heat up. FIRs have been registered against Allahbadia and others in Maharashtra as well as Assam, with the Maharashtra Cyber Cell registering cases against around 30 to 40 people associated with the show. The National Commission for Women has also scheduled a hearing on the 17th of February asking the concerned parties such as Allahbadia, Raina, influencer Apurva Makhija to appear in person. Meanwhile, Apurva Makhija, YouTuber Ashish Chanchlani and Ranveer Allahbadia's manager have also recorded their statements with the Mumbai police. As the matter continues to spiral, where do we draw the line when it comes to comedy is the big question. Joining us on the show at this point in time is Vrinda Adige, activist, Dr. Swati Jindal, advocate on record, Supreme Court, is also with us on the show. Prachi Adhikari, who's an actress, joins us on the platform. And last but by no means the least, Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian, with me in the studio. Joyita, I'll begin with you. What have you made of what is being done over here? Obviously there are people on both sides of the aisle. A number of people like Veer Das have come in support of Allahbadia. People like Rakhi Sawant have also come out in support of Ranveer Allahbadia, but the point is that this is content after all. It is reaching the vulnerable, it is reaching the ones who are uninitiated, and it is reaching children who follow these influencers and podcasters and in fact latch on to every word they have to say.
Vineet, I think that is the primary problem, that these are the people, the kind of influence that these people have. And frankly there is no scope for debate in this case, because there is nothing in terms of this is not where you draw the line or not. You don't venture into the territory that these people have ventured into. There has to be, this is something that is unthinkable, that is unheard of. There is no way that any content creator who is even supporting these guys can even talk like that. You cannot support this, simple as that. You don't even consider it. But having said that, I am not even going to bring in the issue of, people have the freedom to say whatever they want, because this is obscene, this is disgusting, this is unacceptable. So it does not come under the freedom of expression and right to speech. No, it does not come under that. But having said that, police action for some of these guys being basically what shall I say, degenerate, reprobate and disgusting little punks. That's the only way I can think of about these people. For that you put them in jail or you take legal action about that. Well, I have a problem with that. No, I think that's a little too much.
Okay. Vrinda Adige, where do you stand on this? In fact, there are comparisons being made that there are also politicians, there are leaders who spew poison against minorities, who violate this and violate that. In fact they say things which affect even the fundamental rights that are mentioned in the Constitution. Are we in fact exaggerating what has happened here, or do you think that this is something which needs to be stopped and this is perhaps an opportunity for us?
Nobody, irrespective of what their positions in the society might be, politicians, political workers, or government servants, or public, or entertainers, nobody has the right to indulge in any kind of pervasive remarks or talks. The earlier panelist pointed out that these are called influencers. This particular person has also put out advertisements that you can learn from and study from him how to become so-called influencer and earn money. Now you tell me, if he was a professor or a lecturer or a teacher somewhere in one of the educational institutions, would he have got away with that kind of talk and language? No. There are certain norms, there is an ambit, there is a decorum with which you have to speak so that you are educating people. Now somebody might say that that is what dark comedy is all about. Really? If that is what dark comedy is all about, then have you put out information saying that this is dark comedy, not suitable for children? Because everybody watches this fellow. There is no age bar where you can watch and you cannot watch. Now that said, can he say that this is freedom of expression? can freedom of expression stamp on the dignity of another person? Because that person also has freedom of expression and right to be treated with respect. So let us be very careful when we talk about fundamental rights. And like you pointed out, there is a lot of hate messages going out. There are a lot of politicians who talk utter nonsense, discrimination on caste, on color, on region, on food that we eat, people, gods that we worship. Yes, all of that needs to be addressed. But can I take that as an excuse where there is an outburst of something of this kind, which is unacceptable, of course, vis-a-vis a script that has been written specifically for this man to make these kind of remarks, and then guffaw like that, and all the others who abetted to it? Can this person be absolved? Can it be told that, I did this out, without knowing? So, certainly not. There are promoters, advertisers, financiers who are very, very clear on what they want to promote. So you can't even sneer or laugh without it being part of your script. So there is a lot of thought that has gone into it, literally premeditated. So what is he asking excuse for? He must be punished. We also know that this is in digital media, not going to get deleted ever. Anybody can, get onto anything and get this thing back again. If we don't punish this person, the precedent that is being set is you can get away with this. You can say sorry and get away. You can continue to profiteer from the miseries of public, gullible public. Worst, you are promoting this kind of nonsense to children and young people when the rest of us are fighting sexual abuse, assault, and the rape culture that is being promoted in different media. Should he not be responsible? Should he not be held accountable? He has to be. Otherwise, why should he call himself an influencer?
In fact, Prachi Adhikari, Ranveer Allahbadia is considered to be one of the biggest influencers in the country, and perhaps he may have, inadvertently signed, on the demise of his own popularity by indulging in conversation which is so crass. He's 31 years of age. Obviously, this is a learning experience for him, but the damage is done. He's never going back to the glory that he enjoyed before this event. He's never getting back that respect. He's not going to be looked at the same way as he was looked upon. In fact, people like B. Prak have already cancelled their podcast with him. He's lost about 3 million followers in a matter of 48 to 72 hours. What kind of a learning does this present? And do you think that the government perhaps definitely needs to come in now to contain and control this kind of content? And the argument that can be made from an entertainment point of view, you have OTT shows, which of course use a lot of misogynistic messages, a lot of abuses. What about them? Why should only these people be singled out?
Well, if we talk about the influencer available in India, those who are doing the podcast and other kind of shows, he's not the only person who's making such kind of remarks. There are more people like that. And if we go back to the history, if we see his other shows, he was quite decent. I don't know what's gone wrong with him. And if you ask me personally, I know in the name of perverted trash or vulgar, obscene content, people are using filthy language and they are asking dirty questions, and there is a certain kind of censorship is required for stopping such kind of nonsense, which is available to the kids also, and this can pollute the entire generation next or the generation, we can say. But we cannot say that we need to punish him by sending him to jail. If he is not a repeat offender. This is the first time he has done such kind of because as the co-panelist said, that he was given a script. So if you go into a show, nothing you speak is yours. It is of the director or the script writer.
Wait a minute. It's not a movie, Prachi. It's not a movie. It's a show, right? And he can decide. He's not dumb not to realize what he's about to say, right? You can object. Even actors object. Even actors object.
he could have saved himself by saying such, passing such remark. He would have asked for a change, but I don't know what he had taken that time, what he got influenced to say, and he has passed such a dirty remark, and that also for disabled people and also for parents, and it can, it is not acceptable in our society. Yes, when he was saying that verbally, he was giving his sorry speech and all that time, I told my friends also that he should have gone for a written apology, and he could have come on his own show and asked for an apology there, that he did it, and it was a blunder, and he wouldn't repeat it again. And I don't think he shouldn't be given a chance. I think he was quite a decent guy in his previous shows, and he lost already. He got punished. He has lost a lot of things. The name he made. I think this is enough punishment. I think I mean, you look at this.
Perhaps okay. I see your point, Prachi. I see your point. I see your point, Prachi. I see your point. And Joyita, do you think that perhaps whatever podcast that Ranveer Allahbadia did, they were perhaps scripted, and what happened at this particular show, I'm going to come to you after this, Dr. Swati Jindal, and what happened at this particular show was unscripted, and that is why we got to see this side?
No, I think it was scripted.
That is the worst part about it. I think it was scripted. I think it was ripped off from some British comedy or some kind of a stand-up comedy in Britain. That is what I'm hearing about it.
Which makes it worse.
Yeah, so which makes it even worse, that they knew what they were doing. So, but at the same time, if you go around arresting people or taking such action against comedians for being brainless and for being, not only brainless, also whatever these people have shown themselves to be. Again, I am going to use the word decadent, reprobate, degenerate people. There are so many people in this society who do not maybe come forward, but yes, there should be, the only way you can make these people suffer is that deplatform them. Deplatform them, cut their source of money, and then that is when they will be, and that is what they are doing anyway. I saw this video of this guy who is crying buckets, this Allahbadia guy who was saying such nonsense, that we are biceps, that was
an earlier video.
No, this is the latest one. I saw one.
No, it's an earlier video. He has not done that. That was done in the past. He's
Okay.
apologized. In fact, his apology also invited a lot of ire because people felt that he was being very passive about it. Dr. Swati Jindal, there is obviously the concept of freedom of speech that is brought in when people are persecuted or prosecuted for something that they have said which is unsavory or against our culture. I remember just a few months ago there was something similar which was put out in the Supreme Court as well. It pertained to a channel, it pertained to an anchor who said something, and he was dragged to court. In fact, the former Chief Justice of India, Mr. Chandrachud, went on to say that, I cannot deny this person his freedom of speech, but I would advocate that nobody should watch his channel. Obviously, freedom of speech is an important facet to this entire saga, but the fact of the matter is there is some responsibility also that comes with freedom of speech. You cannot go around saying anything and everything you want. You will have complete chaos. Dr. Swati Jindal, that's for you.
Yes, Vineet. They say that a prick of the sword you may recover, but a prick of the tongue you will never get over. It is very sad that today it is we, the people, who have made these people the influencers. We have made them sit on that platform where we are getting influenced by them. Yes, we do have the freedom of speech. The Constitution has made this guarantee to all the citizens of India that yes, you can go ahead, speak your mind. But at that time, because every right comes with a corresponding duty, do we not have the duty to impose reasonable restrictions on ourselves whenever we go out there? Especially when you're speaking on a public platform, any social media for that matter, and you call yourself an influencer, you have an added responsibility on your shoulders. You have to practice an extra level of care, an extra care over and above of that which is expected from the average man, because there are people, there are children, there are youth out there who are emulating you, especially in the light of the fact that you've been awarded as the content creator of the year or some such fancy award that he was being given. So we have a large percentage of the youth out there who want to be just like this person. Now, what he has done, I do not know whether the content that he spoke was scripted or not, but yes, it came out of his mouth. Having been sitting on that platform for a long time, having interviewed personalities such as our Prime Minister himself, and having other people, and having that kind of an image, where you are telling people that, look, I am Beer Biceps, I am Allabadia, and this is who you emulate. You come out on another public platform, one that has been in a soup so many times in the past, and you say certain things at that time. Have you lost your cognitive faculty? Do you not understand what is falling from your lips? At that time, do you forget that you've been awarded the content creator? How far would you go for money? How far would you go for subscribers? How far would you go for likes? And how low would you fall so that you create that content which is, going to be accepted by all? So are we today, by letting such people go scot-free, not normalizing such a behavior? That is what my question is. By showing certain things on social media platforms again and again, we normalize them to such an extent that there might come a time when such questions are asked to other people in regularity without us batting an eyelid. See, we cannot forget that this question is also not a genuine question that was posed by him. It is not an original one, so to say, because he has ripped it off, like one of the speakers before me said, from another show. We must understand that the show was being aired in a country where the cultural mindset is totally different, and maybe they have reached that stage where such statements are totally all right for them. It is okay to consume such statements sitting in your bedrooms, sitting in your drawing rooms. But here in India,
right, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And
some call us regressive. I just call myself, I am a proud Indian who belongs to a certain cultural background, and I ask myself, is this content okay to be viewed by people at large?
You're absolutely right. And Vrindaji, do you think that in a country where misogyny, where patriarchy, where incidents related to rape have created, such sensationalism, there has to be some collective responsibility with touchy subjects, especially when you're a curator, when you're an influencer, when you're somebody people look up to, when you're somebody people emulate?
Absolutely. There cannot be any doubt that you have to speak and behave with a certain decorum, irrespective of what might be happening in other countries, what might be happening in other societies. What has to be, do those people get Prime Minister and President awards? Have those fellows got all of this? No, you have got it, which means you have to maintain a certain value system. Now, that is not what we are trying to say, that, you morally police us and talk in this kind of a manner and your freedom of expression is going to be curtailed. But there has to be a show of respect and dignity. You cannot put a participant into a spot over there asking for this on a public platform. You know that children are... See, again and again, let's come back to this whole thing. Today, pornography is so easily available in anybody's phone. We are not like Korea, Japan or China, where young people and minors cannot access porn. If that is possible, what are you trying to tell when this kind of talk is happening? How are parents going to feel? I have another question to this man. Would he have the same conversation with his family, his parents, his brothers and sisters at the dining table? And will he consider this to be a very close-knit family where he can speak like that to them? If you cannot do this to your family, how dare you speak like this?
So you have a point there. In fact, let me get Joyita Basu into this last comment as well. So Joyita, he would not have this conversation with his family. Do you think that all this attention and fame and rubbing shoulders with and hobnobbing with the who's who of the world, has made a lot of these influences impervious to a moral compass?
Yes, I think you are largely right on this, because you see, First of all, if you remember that, and these are very Western concepts that they are trying to bring into India, without realizing, or perhaps realizing that their whole intention is to shock, that the society here is much more conservative and will be shocked about it. Say for example, the roast that happens, that they use the most, ugliest abuses and epithets when they are roasting somebody.
Correct.
If you remember, there was a huge controversy over this, and one of the actresses got very upset about the kind of abuses and the words that were used against her. But that is supposed to be entertainment. But the problem is, you see, there is still a section, who call themselves ultra modern, hyper, they're international, travelers, and they will actually say, well, so what is the big thing? This is all part of a joke, and that is what this is an accepted way of joking in the West. So we will never progress, we will never be modern if we do not accept such norms. But the problem is, you see, it is hugely problematic. Whatever has happened is hugely problematic. But again, I am going to say, having said all this, there is an element of hurting these guys, because of, there is an element of jealousy also involved. There is an attempt to bring these people down, and there is also talk in terms of that this could actually be some sort of a conspiracy. We don't know what exactly happened. Until and unless these people are coming out and saying whatever. Apparently this video was not supposed to be leaked, okay, but then that is even worse than, it's very abhorrent, because they thought that they can get away by doing these things behind closed doors. So the thing is, this is very complicated, but I would say at a time when a lot of youngsters are actually making a career out of this influencer business, let us not scare them to a situation where originality ends. But having said that, again I am going to say a serious warning has to go out. You don't have to arrest people like that. You have to give a warning. You have to ensure that they are deplatformed. You have to ensure, put pressure on,
He's lost 3 million followers, which is a huge number.
But I am certain he has got some followers as well. So you put pressure on the particular thing, just deplatform him. That will be lesson for him, because he then loses money. Until and unless these people lose money, they will not learn.
All right, makes sense. We've completely run out of time, but appreciate everybody who joined us and weighed in on this trending topic, for the lack of a better word. We'll take a short break here. Be right back.